Hey guys, today we're going to cover a game in Iowa, but I thought I'd first go over the modules that I use. So Iowa, I use secondary battery mod, as main batteries turn just fine in my opinion, though an argument can be made for that. Propulsion over or damage control, they're probably the options. Steering doesn't really help much, steering is pretty abysmal in Iowa anyway. Torque acquisition, there's no other choice, and you have artillery plotting room definitely. I like the 11% reduction in dispersion. That way you don't have to fire as much because your guns actually hit where they want to. So main battery mod, I prefer artillery. Take off the armor scheme here. Remember to take off the torpedo protection because that's actually not necessarily part of the armor scheme. It's more of a thing that's not really relevant to your damage because torpedo doesn't factor in torpedo doesn't actually factor into your damage, only the damage you take from torpedoes. So 30mm deck, 32 sides, and pretty well armored actually. Really good against AP. The biggest problem with the Iowa is that superstructure. Look at all that superstructure. Massive target for HE, massive target for AP when you're bow tanking or you're angling or stuff like this. Well, that's the biggest problem with the Iowa, is that mass superstructure. Other than that though, it's pretty well armored. 30mm deck can bounce most HE, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just about the front and the back of the ship, which is 32. William Sims as the commander, because you want to go for an accuracy perk. Scharnhorst or Cunningham would be optional there, and Jujard for. I use the Jujard for more for the Alabama, but I just keep the same build on the Iowa. Because additional penetration does not hurt at all. Full accuracy build, you can see. Running cannoneer, you just gotta play careful, you know. Playing careful, you can definitely run cannoneer, but you just gotta be careful about it. Drill bits for more DP damage. The boat is very quick on its own. It goes like 30, 31 knots without this drill bits, and it goes like 27 with the drill bits, so it's still pretty quick. Again, full accuracy, again, full range, and the Wilter build. You actually get I think you get some extreme range with the Iowa. I think post like 20 kilometers, something like that. Yeah, there we go. 19.5, pretty close enough. But yeah, if you look at the overview, it's actually more relevant for the Germans. It actually has the Germans overview. It has the highest EP damage of any tier 7 ship. The Bismarck apparently has it, but it's not. The superior EP damage should be on the Iowa because that's the highest EP value. Even though it was nerfed, it's still the highest AP now value. The only thing on the Iowa that's been nerfed is AP damage by a 400, I think. 400, I think. The only one that has a true AP value of the Iowa is the Missouri. That is the pre-nerf Iowa. So anyway, let's head into the game here. Iowa, I don't think should be played at the back. You should be supporting your team a lot like the Yamato, but you are a very good spearhead for two reasons. One, you look like a spear, haha, and two, you can definitely lead a push if need be. I'm not saying you should be in the push, but I'm not saying you should be like brawling with other battleships, no, but you can definitely lead a push. You're pretty small profile compared to other battleships when you're from the front, because you're quite thin from the front. You're very, 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 very tanky. Obviously, HE spam can ruin you, but again, no one wants to be in front of an Iowa for too long, because an Iowa is pretty darn deadly. Pretty accurate, pretty scary. We've got an AFK Fletcher there, that's not always good. HE spam coming in from Kutuzov. Again, leader shots a little bit. American shells are a little bit slow, but you can get some good shots if you land them. 3 penetrations. He was lucky not to get any more because this is an Iowa, but 4 hits out of I think I fired all the guns actually. Not bad, not bad. Good accuracy, paid off. 12k off the bat. He's not happy with that. I traded like 2,000 health for like 12k damage. He is not happy with that, so he's gonna suffer from that. Actually, in Baltimore wants to around my butt. I think he's a little bit interested in me. Told him he's not interested though. I'm not interested in that sort of thing. So I move on. I shoot at the Kutuzov. Meanwhile, pushing in close to this island, there's plenty of ways to mitigate the HE fire, and that is using cover. I'm not spotted here, and I'm shooting over this island. American battleships and just general American shells can shoot over islands pretty darn comfortably. So this way I'm limiting my fire from that Kutuzov, because I don't want to be HE spam. No one wants to be HE spam. And I can focus my target on what's spotted, which is, at the minute, this Colorado. I see a Hipper though, who's also giving broadside. Whatever I can kill the quickest usually has priority. I think he's going to turn away from me, so I aim a little bit up. And I'll see what I get. Probably nothing, but it's worth taking the shot. No. Oh, I hit once. There we go. For our penetration, not bad. We're getting there. So, Waiting for targets to be spotted here. I don't want to push in because I'll open myself up to a crossfire between that Fiji, the Colorado, and now a Miyoko as well. But there's also a Hipper. So a lot of ships here. Use the island cover to limit the amount of people that can shoot at me. If they want to shoot me, I can always shoot them back. So there's no real concern. Their DD is not close enough to have it be a threat to me because I'm not even spotted, and there's no indication that he's here. At least on not on the minimap. And there might have been, I just can't see it from the when you do recordings. There we go. Double Citadel the Miyoko. Lucky he wasn't dead struck. Again, you nothing wants to be in front of the eye of the guns for too long, because you can be pretty darn punished. These guns are no joke. These are accurate, these hit hard, and they've got very good penetration angles, and generally they're just the biggest, scariest guns in the game, except, of course, legendary tier Yamato. So yeah, pretty darn devastating. You definitely don't want to stay in front of these guns for too long. That's why I'm saying yeah, they're pretty tanky, because any HE spam you can either run away to avoid because you're pretty quick, or you can just kill them. Like that Miyoko, he's pretty hesitant to shoot at me. He does shoot at me here, but he's not happy with it. Some of the shells bouncing off the 38mm deck, as you can see, which is nice. I did damage con that single fire because Miyoko is running away. I still have the heal if need be. And maybe it was a mistake, but I don't think it was too much of a mistake. I did manage to get out of jail free, and again he bounced off my deck. RNG was saved, kinda didn't punish me as well. Plus that damage control lasts for a long time, because it's American, and as you can see, damage control just ran out now, and that was the only salvo that could have set me on fire. So pretty darn good in that regard. I'm still backing up. I'm not ready to push the charge just yet. You gotta pick the right moment for it, but I will be pushing in the Iowa here. At the minute, I'm just covering this whole central flank. Any ship that wants to get to ships behind me has to get through me first, and so far they're not having some good luck with that. There's an Amagi over there, a little bit too close to the island to shoot over him. No one's interested in shooting me here, so I'm gonna push a little bit. I can see there's a ship here on my other flank to my left hand side, so if that Kutuzov pops up, he's going to be a little bit of a crossfire. So that's always good, because it always gives them less chance to run away if you're in a crossfire in a cruiser, even though they can overmatch you regardless. Amagi shooting at me. I'm well angled actually. You don't have to angle much in American battleships, and you can see just like almost no damage. Like bouncing. Alright, he got a little bit on my close to my broadside, but like most of it just bounced really. I overpen him because naturally I can't Citadel the Maggie, but if someone else was in mine, I was in my Maggie, he would probably Citadel me, but there we go, that's just my R&D right now. A little bit of HE spam, I don't like it. Got the Miyoko on me and I got the Kutuzov on me, so my only choice is to push just a little bit to get behind the island. See, he thinks I should get back and it's just really not a bad idea, it's not a good idea. Miyoko punished, alright. I really want to push for the support here. Push to full speed, ask the Fletcher for help, in fact. Because if he can push with me, that's great. He can screen for torpedoes, and we can get some stuff done. I just saw, take out the Miyoko a little bit, you know, pretty out there. Kutuzov can't see me, because I'm actually he's concealed he concealed me from his own smoke. He's not getting any spotting. Shots at a broadside of Maggie yet again. Come on, give me something good. I don't know why, folks, but I just can never do well against another Amagi. I just don't know. I just seem to just get the bad shots. But this Iowa is really not forgiving to enemy ships. It's very rare. Return of Justice looks pretty good. Like, that's just 3 shells, and I actually land 2 out of 3. The accuracy is pretty darn insane. A lot of people say, apparently, I've been hearing this quite a bit, the Iowa's been nerfed. No, it's just the player skill base is generally increased. And people aren't sailing broadside as much. They still are, but they're just not sailing as broadside as much. People have camos on that limit dispersion and so forth, and X, Y, and Z. Another good punishing shot on Kutuzov. He's going to struggle to heal most of it because it's all AP damage, so it will affect him and it will prevent his ability to play as aggressively. Kutuzov is just trying to go dark at this point, which is really good for me. Means I'm not actually under any HE spam, because if he turns back and fights me, I can just shoot him and he's just terrified. I was pretty darn intimidating as a tier 7 ship. Again, I can't get really much citadels in that Paramagi. It does go down to concentrated fire from the Attico, and you can see that my flank on the other side are pushing, and I'm just kind of just charging in into their base and just kind of spearheading this attack. I feel that's the way I'd perceive this, to be honest. I'm just kind of tanking for the team. If they want to shoot someone, they tend to shoot at me, and it's only vain hopes to try and shoot at the double cruiser destroyer sort of build here. Double shots at the Attico, Kuchesov, sorry again. No citadels, again, he's very lucky. As mentioned before, it's got the highest EP damage of any battleship. It's very, very strong. That's why I didn't really cover the masterclass on it, because I think everyone really knows how to play in Iowa. It's pretty darn... It's a very easy mode battleship, you know, you just... Doesn't matter what you do, you're generally going to do well in the Iowa. But I like to, because you have this really good armor scheme against pretty much any EP, and the only weakness is your superstructure, you can mitigate quite a lot of fire. Kuchesov is being attacked and killed by that Azure Lane Baltimore and then the Attico Fletcher division. That is, I don't know if it's a division, but they've been pushing with me and it's really helpful. So we're just going to push their base. But yeah, as I said, the Iowa is just a little bit... It's a really strong boat. I don't understand why this boat was nerfed less than the Amagi, but in terms of like the player base thought the Iowa was overpowered, and they all played the Iowa. Even everyone from a bad player to a good player played the Iowa, so the average result was much lower than the average Joe and the Amagi. So this is why this boat only got nerfed a little bit, and the Amagi got nerfed a lot more. Turning on the Iowa was always never really a concern, because you could fire most of your guns from the front anyway. That rear turret I like to use as much as possible, because that's extra 3 guns. That makes me a 9-gun Iowa, and essentially a stronger Amagi with 3 guns, because instead of firing 10 guns that are relatively inaccurate, you're firing 9 guns that are accurate, and they hit harder, and they get better pen. So there's literally, if you're trying to compare an Amagi to an Iowa, there's no contest. The Iowa just simply wins, because it's just better AP, it's got better armor, it's got better guns, it's got better penetration angles, and it's just, I just don't see, there's no benefit to picking the Amagi over the Iowa. Even speed, torpedo protection is probably the only thing you could say that the Amagi has an edge over, but because of the nerfs, there's really no competition. Jean Bart, Iowa, I'm pretty confident in penning a Jean Bart. This has got the best pen of anything at tier 7, I believe. Maybe the Roma might beat you, but I think this is the best penetration, the Iowa, of any tier 7 battleship. Jean Bart could be similar, but I believe the low caliber guns makes that a little bit disadvantaged compared to the Iowa. Fully bow tanking / angled Iowa. Of course, the Jean Bart's going to switch to HE, and because the Jean Bart is most highly performing battleship in the game, a ship in the game, period, actually, he will just switch to HE, and he'll do rather well with it, because Jean Bart HE is good as well. At least, you know, not great shot, kind of bracketed him, got a bounce there, but Jean Bart's very accurate as well. Again, it's just, this boat is just, both these boats are very strong, and I have no problem going against the Jean Bart in an Iowa, because the Iowa is just such a strong ship. Even Tech Tree, probably the strongest Tech Tree battleship besides the Richelieu, because the Richelieu, again, the armor scheme, it may be 32 everywhere, but it just does not, it bounces AP like nothing. It's insane. And it does have a turtle back as well, so it's very hard to citadel, and there's no reason to give you broadside in the Richelieu, so you're never going to get a reliable citadel unless they make a proper big mistake and give you broadside. So the only people you're going to punish in a Richelieu broadside are people who are earning experience in giving people broadside. And it's even then they can just turn away, and their broadside, their turtle back will save them, stuff like that. So I'm just shooting this Jean Bart with AP on the superstructure and getting relatively good results, like 6k. Under a little bit of fire, I'm just going to accelerate and try and mitigate that torpedo damage. Try and sail right through them. Perfect. I'm probably going to eat that 1 torp there, but I'm going to try and take it on the belt. I think I didn't take it on the belt, but it looked like it was a belt. Jean Bart has given me broadside, as I said. People you're going to punish are people who just aren't playing very well. Broadside Jean Bart. Yeah, this is an Iowa. Best penetration, almost in all tier 7, and that's just an absolute paddling there. he's been citadeled, he's not looking good, and he's trying for the poor ram. So I don't think he's going to pull off the ramp here. I think he's fast enough. Adigo burns him down. You got Udashi over here. He's been slinging torpedoes. I probably did actually have the torpedo protection damage now that I think about it, because the Udashi's hit for like 21, 25, 21k, so 15k was the torpedo belt. I don't understand why the flooding can still happen on torpedo belt. It really shouldn't, but whatever. Switch to HE for the poor Udashi. I want him dead. I have no sympathy. He may be low. AP probably could have done the trick, but I just didn't want to risk it. This Udashi's definitely can easily kill me. So definitely try and avoid mitigate that damage. So yeah, he fires more torpedoes. He's got to be a reload booster. Completely balanced, of course. Take another torpedo from him, though I finish him off. I am flooding to death though, and at this point I need to slow down. I need to reverse into my ally for will to rebuild, because a single flood can be saved from will to rebuild, so I'm backing up here. As I said, if you look at these two guys' health, I've pretty much tanked for them, and I've used my health effectively here, and I've also used my guns effectively in this game. I've really just punished them as much as I could. And yeah, because we're capping, we're doing fine. I'm just going to keep pushing. I may be in 4,000 health, yes, but I can at least reset the Iowa. I might be able to even kill him, assuming I can outplay him. So yeah, we're doing quite well. 134k, we've tanked a metric butt ton, we've used all our heals. And you kind of just, misplay my part. I barely use this border plane. I just don't see, I can't really decide what's the most valuable salvo in the game, because I don't know, you don't know what the next salvo could be. I could shoot at a broadside Miyoko, great, and then it could be like a broadside Jean Bart, where I really could use that spotter plane. So yeah, just to make sure that we guarantee this win, I'm just going to go and see if I can spot the Iowa, but I don't think I'll have time. Probably not, I'm probably just going to cap out. But this Iowa's gone over there, and he's tried to cap, and good on him, but I think he should have just kind of supported his Jean Bart in this push to defend his base. But then again, it's all hindsight, you can't blame everyone. So there we go. They pick up the Dreadnought, and that's the finisher there. And that's kind of really an example of how you can spearhead an attack with an Iowa, and you can do pretty well if you do it that way. So yeah, 2,486 XP, 2 kills, 134 with 4 citadels. Yep. So pretty decent game. I just wanted to show you an highlight of how the Iowa can be played. It's not just a sniper. So yeah, I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.